Celtics Nation! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. Whispers are starting to swirl around the NBA like a summer storm, and this time, the eye of the hurricane is none other than Nikola Jokic. That's right, Nikola Jokic, the two-time MVP, the Serbian sensation, the maestro of the Denver Nuggets championship run, is at the center of what might become the most shocking storyline of the offseason, according to multiple anonymous sources close to league executives and some speculative chatter among insiders. There are strong indications that Jokic has refused millions, yes, millions, in potential contract enhancements or endorsements tied to staying in Denver. And instead, he's giving serious consideration to saying yes to the Boston Celtics. Now, before the internet explodes and fans flood the forums, let's make one thing crystal clear. Nothing is official, but the rumor mill is turning faster than ever, and if what's being said in back channels is even half true, then we could be on the brink of one of the most jaw-dropping moves in recent NBA memory. Imagine the big man from Sombor trading the Rockies for the parquet floor of TD Garden. It sounds unreal, but then again, the NBA is a league built on the impossible suddenly becoming reality overnight. The idea of Nikola Jokic wearing green and white, donning that classic Celtics jersey, feels like something out of a dream, or maybe a fevered 2K fantasy. But the buzz isn't just from fans with Photoshop and wild imaginations. Several NBA insiders claim that the Celtics front office has been quietly laying groundwork for a potential blockbuster move, and Jokic has reportedly been intrigued. Why? Sources say he's grown increasingly disillusioned with the Nuggets' long-term direction. Despite winning a title and cementing his legacy in Denver, there's talk that he's become frustrated with certain internal decisions, like how the team handled roster depth, rotations, and even the future of Jamal Murray. On top of that, Jokic is apparently searching for a new kind of challenge, a new environment that can elevate his legacy from legendary to mythical. And what better place than Boston, a city drenched in basketball history, with a fan base that worships its heroes and a team stacked with championship-ready talent. The Celtics aren't just another option, they're the option. If Jokic truly wants to chase greatness on a bigger stage, TD Garden might be calling louder than any dollar sign ever could. Let's be clear, Nikola Jokic is not a player who chases the spotlight. He's famously low-key, more likely to be seen racing horses in Serbia than promoting shoes in Times Square. But don't confuse humility with a lack of ambition. Insiders close to the situation have hinted that Jokic wants to write his name into the pantheon of basketball gods, not just as a stats machine, but as a multiple-time champion. That's where Boston comes into play, with Jason Tatum entering his prime and Jaylen Brown now playing the best basketball of his life. The Celtics are a team on the cusp. All they need is a missing piece, a big man with vision, passing, and poise under pressure. Enter Jokic. His skill set would immediately elevate Boston's offensive dynamics. No more isolation-heavy possessions. With Jokic orchestrating from the high post, the Celtics could become the most fluid offense in the league. It's a perfect basketball fit. But what's more intriguing is the personal motivation. There are whispers that Jokic, despite his loyalty to Denver, doesn't feel as valued as he should be behind closed doors. And if the Celtics are making him feel wanted, respected, and central to their future, well, that changes everything. Money talks in the NBA. But not to everyone. And certainly not to Nikola Jokic, who just might be proving that legacy matters more than luxury. We're hearing that Denver attempted to sweeten the pot with several incentive-laden bonuses, loyalty-driven extensions, and even hints at a post-retirement front office role. But guess what? Jokic isn't biting. One source described his stance as principled, saying he's not unhappy, he's unfulfilled. That's a powerful distinction. Denver gave him a ring, yes, but something deeper is pulling at him. Maybe it's the allure of Boston's storied franchise, the echoes of Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin Garnett. Or maybe it's about etching his name alongside those Celtics greats in a city that lives and breathes basketball. Financially, the Celtics would need to move mountains to make this happen. Restructuring deals, possibly trading assets and clearing cap space. But according to league whispers, Brad Stevens and company are willing to go all in. This isn't just about adding a superstar. This is about building a dynasty. And if Jokic is truly walking away from millions in Denver, it's not because he's lost. It's because he sees something greater waiting in Boston. Something immortal in conversations happening behind closed doors. Executives are calling. This potential move, the new Garnett moment. If you remember the 2007 Celtics, Kevin Garnett's arrival transformed a struggling franchise into instant champions. Could Jokic be next in line to revive that kind of magic? Some say yes, and they're pointing to the subtle signs. For one, Jokic has reportedly begun studying Celtics film. Not just scouting, but deep diving into their systems, offensive sets, and spacing patterns. That's not typical off-season curiosity. That's intentional evaluation. There's also talk of private meetings between Jokic's agent and key figures in the Celtics organization. Nothing on paper, of course. Just conversations, a few quiet dinners, a filling out process. It's all unconfirmed, yet entirely believable. When superstars switch teams, the groundwork is often laid months in advance. This could be that moment. Meanwhile, players like Jason Tatum have posted cryptic social media messages. Nothing direct, just enough to send fans into a frenzy. Emojis, eyes, subtle likes. Coincidence? Maybe. But in the NBA, where smoke almost always leads to fire, the signs are stacking up. Jokic to Boston isn't just a possibility. It's starting to feel like a looming reality. Now, let's talk basketball IQ. If you ask any coach or analyst, they'll tell you Jokic is one of the smartest players to ever step on the hardwood. His feel for the game, his timing, his ability to manipulate defenses, those are once-in-a-generation gifts. Pair that with Boston's cerebral style of play, and you've got a marriage made in basketball heaven. Imagine Jokic running pick and rolls with Derek White, finding cutters like Tatum in stride, or kicking it out to Horford for corner threes. The synergy could be breathtaking. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla, known for his analytical mind and strategic innovation, would have a field day crafting schemes around Jokic's talents. Sources say the Celtics front office is already working through hypothetical rotations, lineups, and spacing strategies. With Jokic as the focal point, it's no longer a pipe dream. It's a plan in progress. Of course, it won't be easy. Denver still holds contractual leverage. But Jokic reportedly isn't chasing dollars. He's chasing meaning. And if that meaning lies in rewriting history with Boston, he may just force a move. The chessboard is set. All it takes now is one bold opening move to change everything. But where does that leave the Nuggets? That's the burning question echoing through the front offices and fan forums alike. Denver built their entire identity around Jokic. From the offensive playbook to the locker room culture, he was their nucleus. Losing him, even the mere thought, is causing waves of anxiety throughout the organization. Sources say internal. Meetings have turned tense, with executives scrambling to find ways to keep their superstar content. Yet if these rumors hold weight, it may be too late. The damage might already be done. Some speculate that Denver underestimated Jokic's internal compass, his desire for a deeper legacy, a more storied challenge. The Nuggets provided comfort, but Boston offers mythology. There's a romantic appeal to being the final piece in a Celtics title run. There's glory in joining a franchise that already has 17 banners and the hunger for more. Denver, as great as it's been, can offer that same mystique. And maybe, just maybe, Jokic has reached the point in his career where he's no longer satisfied with being dominant. He wants to be legendary. If true, the ripple effects will be seismic, not just for Denver or Boston, but for the entire NBA landscape. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Jokic's potential decision could also trigger a league-wide power shift, one that rivals the biggest moments in free agency history. Remember when LeBron left Cleveland for Miami? Or when Durant joined the Warriors? This could be on that level. Not just because of who Jokic is, but because of where he might be going. The Celtics are already a powerhouse. Add Jokic, and they might become unstoppable. That's not hyperbole. That's the consensus among rival GMs. The Eastern Conference, already stacked, would tilt dramatically in Boston's favor. Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, they'd all have to rethink their strategies. And over in the West, Denver might go from champion to rebuilding in the blink of an eye. It's a domino effect, and Jokic is the first tile. The irony is rich. The quietest superstar in the league might end up making the loudest statement, choosing legacy over loyalty, mystique over money, and in doing so, rewriting the power map of the NBA for years to come. What once felt like an untouchable dynasty in Denver might now be on the brink, and Boston, ever patient, ever watchful, could be ready to pounce. Meanwhile, Boston fans are already dreaming. The message boards are on fire. Jerseys with Jokic 15 and Celtics green are popping up in fan-made mock-ups. Bars in Southie are buzzing with chatter. Can you imagine him with Tatum, they say? That passing? That court vision? It's not just wishful thinking, it's anticipation. And while the Celtics front office remains tight-lipped, their history suggests they don't make noise until it's time to strike. Just like they did with Kyrie. Just like they did with Porzingis, quiet, calculated, deadly. And now, with Jokic possibly leaning toward them, the pieces are aligning. Of course, there's a world where none of this happens, where Jokic stays in Denver, signs the extension, and all of this becomes another what if. But right now, the tea leaves say otherwise. Every quiet report, every agent whisper, every sidelong glance between executives, they all point to Boston. And if Jokic does make the leap, it won't just be the move of the year. It could be the move of the decade, maybe even the century. The league isn't ready. The fans aren't ready. But Boston? Boston might be exactly what Jokic's been looking for all along. What's perhaps most fascinating is how un-Jokic-like this entire scenario feels, and yet how perfectly fitting it might be. He's not a flashy guy. He doesn't crave headlines. But maybe that's the genius of this entire possible move. While other stars announce their intentions in TV specials or tweet cryptic quotes, Jokic is moving like a shadow. Quiet, methodical, and incredibly intentional. Those close to him describe a man who thinks 5 steps ahead. A man who sees basketball not just as sport, but as chess. And when a grandmaster sees the perfect board, the perfect alignment of pieces, he moves. Maybe that's what Boston is to Jokic, the perfect board, a system that matches his brain, teammates who complement his game, a city that would worship his greatness. The whispers are growing louder, executives are watching closely, and fans, they're clinging to every rumor like it's gospel. Because this isn't just about Boston getting another star, it's about changing the rules of the game itself. If Jokic leaves Denver to chase greatness with the Celtics, it'll go down not as betrayal, but as brilliance. A move made not with ego, but with purpose. So here we are, on the edge of what could be history. Nikola Jokic, the man who redefined the center position, may be on the verge of making the boldest decision of his career. Not for the glitz, not for the gold, but for the game. And if these rumors hold even a grain of truth, the entire NBA is about to be flipped on its head. Boston could finally have their new cornerstone. Denver could lose its icon. And basketball fans across the globe could witness a storyline so surreal it borders on myth. Will it happen? No one knows for sure, but something's in the air. You can feel it. From the silence in Denver's camp to the strategic moves coming out of Boston, the signs are everywhere. This isn't just noise, it's movement. And if Jokic does say yes to the Celtics, he won't just be changing jerseys, he'll be changing legacies. The countdown has begun. All eyes are on the big man from Sombor. And until the ink dries or the rumors are crushed, we'll all be watching, waiting, and wondering. What if Nikola Jokic really said yes to Boston? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.